Go to school, get a 9 to 5 job, and work till you're able to retire. This is what most parents advise us to do. You've probably heard this advice before, but what if I tell you that this very piece of advice is the beginning of the end? Don't get me wrong, our parents didn't want the worst for us, but the problem is that they don't understand it themselves. And that's where the problem lies. We listen to people who have absolutely no idea about money and who have a very wrong perception of money. Think for yourself, what is money for you? A very difficult question that you haven't thought about very often, is it? Maybe you're telling yourself that it doesn't really mean much to you and that it's just a means to the end. But this is not only a wrong answer, but also a very dangerous one. Look, most of those who say that, maybe you see yourself here, have a regular job, which is perfectly fine, don't get me wrong. But why do you go to work at all? Why do you spend 8 hours a day with this activity? Exactly, because you make money. So first of all, you need to stop this misconception that money doesn't matter, because it is basically false. We all strive for money, which is also not reprehensible. Okay, you say we all strive for money, but why am I poor and others rich? Quite simple. While you are trading your time for money and thus become a slave to money, others make money to their slave. They make the money work for them while you work for the money. Really, remember that, because that's the whole point. Because while you're working all month, people like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk are developing products that generate passive income for them. And that's exactly how you end up in the eternal rat race of life. Because you become dependent on your salary and you can no longer let go of it. You probably took out a loan for a new house, car or something else, which only ties you more to your salary. And so you find yourself with a pile of debt and a chain on your salary. In short, you have made yourself a slave to money, and yet you say money is not important. But in reality, you're a slave, you're a junkie of money, and that for the rest of your life, just so you can end up inheriting a house and a bunch of debt and dying in oblivion. The problem is to escape from this rat race, because over time you become so dependent on your salary that it seems impossible to let go of it. There's a way, and it's not as difficult as many think, but it does require a will, and it is a will to learn. Because nowadays everyone thinks they have a clue about money, which they don't, because otherwise they wouldn't work for money. Learn to make money work for you, for example by investing. For example, you can invest in real estate, in the stock market. Feel free to watch my last video where I explain everything about the stock market. You don't have to be the new Elon Musk, you just have to invest in things that make your money work for you. In other words, make you money, and not invest in things that take your money out of your pocket. Because by increasing your passive income again and again, even if it's low at the beginning, you become more and more independent of your salary and can then retire earlier at some point, or focus on your projects such as founding a company. Or you buy things that cost you money, like a car, and make yourself more and more dependent on your salary, getting you more and more caught up in the rat race of life. Let's illustrate this with an example. We have Bob and Jeff, both are 25 years old and earn $3,000 a month. While Jeff parties every weekend, has an expensive car and has gotten a very large apartment, Bob is much more careful with his money. He has a small and cheaper car, lives in a small and cheap apartment, and doesn't throw his money around. Bob prefers to invest the remaining money in stocks. He also plans to get a building with several apartments in the next few years to drastically increase his passive income. Jeff don't get it and thinks you should enjoy your life. He spends every penny he has. Both are now 50 years old, and Bob has built up such a large passive income that he can now retire to spend more time with his family and travel around the world. Jeff, on the other hand, has no passive income and has to keep working. In addition, Jeff is haunted by the fear that the pension might not be enough, but he doesn't do anything about it because he believes life has to be lived to the full. Sometime later, both are 70 years old. Bob has traveled all over the world and has been able to spend a lot of time with his family and take care of his own body by exercising, for example. Jeff, on the other hand, struggles with poverty because his pension, which he started at 68, is very low. He has to save a lot on food and also lives in a very small apartment. Sometime later, they both die. While Jeff could not inherit anything to his children and has to look back on a miserable life as a slave, Bob can inherit an empire to his children. Guys, believe me, you don't want to stay in the rat race of life. I mean, who wants to spend almost every day of their life with an activity they don't enjoy, and that up to an old age? You would much rather be independent and have more time for the important things in life, such as sport and family. I know it's a struggle, especially in the beginning, to put money on this side. I mean, who likes to put money aside? But believe me, it will be worth it, because nothing is worth more than freedom. The freedom to do what you want and not to be dependent on money. Feel free to write me your experience on this topic in the comments, and good luck on your way, and may you get out of this race.